The diffusion rules was like a parting shot from Biden. On his way out the door, he laid down this whole new policy separate from the chip restrictions on just China, which basically divides the world into three categories: good guys, small number of nations, not even all of NATO quite, I think, and
Poland and Israel didn't get into the tier one. They were
yeah,
mad
yeah,
about that. Right.
bad guys like North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, and I guess some others, and then everyone else. And we managed to piss off almost the whole world because there are restrictions on everyone who's not a good guy, and there's only like what 16 good guys or something.
Right. The tier two countries. So yes, think of it as tier one, tier two, tier three.
Yeah,
Tier one is the good guys. Tier three is the bad guys. Tier two, the countries in that tier have some restrictions. So there's caps on compute, and then they have to jump through some hoops to show like KYC, like who their customers are, and keep track of the numbers of GPUs that are around. So yeah, it's a very sort of complicated and aggressive rule, which is an attempt to give the US government basically veto power over where AI deployments of infrastructure are globally. And so, yes, it's a very unusual approach with the goal of sort of preventing Chinese researchers on AI from accessing restricted hardware anywhere in the world. And part of that is because it turns out that, in addition to the semiconductors and manufacturing equipment for semiconductors that have been a huge issue over the last 2 years, it turns out that the sort of systems level architecture of GPUs, for example, integrated into servers is very complicated. They're all over the place, right? They're all over the world. The big cloud providers, for example, provide APIs where you can access, hardware that may be restricted. And then there are many, many, many small companies that rent out their GPUs for people to use around the world. And so the US government and the people who are pushing this meme, again, we haven't even said that, what is the reason for all this? The reason for the US controls is this idea that whoever gets to artificial general intelligence or artificial superintelligence wins and everybody else loses, right? It's sort of a zero-sum game, which I and many others who know the industry pretty well disagree with, right? Even Jan LeCun is like that. He says, this is an iterative process, and it's not like we're suddenly going to wake up one morning and the US or China has won the AI race, right? I mean, that's not really the way the technology works.